This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
First title shot happened March 10th, 1976 in Miami Beach against Terry Funk. Of course, the champ's going to lose by DQ. That was common in the era. He is going to start facing Harley pretty regularly when Harley becomes the champ. And I guess he faces Harley more as NWA champion than any other NWA champion. We should mention, at some point in 76, he becomes an investor in a restaurant there in Montreal, a French cuisine restaurant. He worked all the big shows around the year. Of course, Christmas Day, 78, he's working with Dusty Rhodes in New Orleans to crown the new NWA United States Tag Team Champions. And Andre and Dusty make it to the finals against Stan Hansen and Ernie Ladd. Andre and Dusty win the match and the title. But of course he's not here for long because he's got to make other trips. But still, it's a big deal to have these two, major attractions together. So I see why it drew and was a good idea. You mentioned earlier, you could see why Andre would show up at Clash of the Champions because Dusty could talk him into it. What was their relationship like outside of work, Andre and Dusty? You got a self-professed redneck who liked to hunt and fish and things like that. And then you got a guy who, well, he's a Frenchman. He's probably not into the same thing, but for whatever reason, they just got along great, right?
Yeah, but Andre was definitely, Andre loved the outdoors. He had his farm or his ranch there in North Carolina and everything. And Andre loved to go outdoors and see his big longhorn cattle and shit and ride around on his four-wheelers. So they did enjoy it. And I think Dusty, just being Dusty, was something that Andre really enjoyed. And, you could sit there and listen to the dream, spin a yarn, if you will. And he really, maybe you can't understand me, you big French man, but listen, I can't understand your mumbling either. So we're going to just sit here and talk like this a little bit back and forth. All right. That's what I'm talking about. All right, baby. So we're going to get funky like a monkey and bullshit like that. But no, nobody don't know what we're saying anyway.
Gary says, who came up with the name Colossal Connection for him and Haku? And was anyone else ever considered to be Andre's partner? Why was Haku the right choice?
They liked each other, first of all. Andre and Haku really liked each other personally. They both were part of the Bobby Heenan family. And I think it was Howard Finkel, actually, that came up with Colossal Connection.
Huh.
They both were colossal, and they had a connection. You know what I'm saying?
Juan says,
you get Colossal Connection.
Everybody has questions about Super Machine, Giant Machine. There was this machine era of the WWF, and I know that predates
Japan.
Yes. I know it was, it sort of predates your tenure, but what can you tell us about Giant Machine?
Well, some people say that it was Andre the Giant.
And you're not so sure, but
I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure, man. I'm not so sure.
Some of our younger listeners have no idea what we're even talking about. Can you explain the machine concept?
Well, the machine concept was basically very similar to the Midnight Rider concept and to the old, what was the other one? Dirty Yellow Dog concept, where popular attractions such like the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes loses a loser leave town match, must leave town. Therefore, they cannot go back and they cannot participate in the town which they were accustomed to. When all of a sudden a new talent would arrive on the scene. In this particular case, it'd be the Midnight Rider. I've got $1 silver. I ain't gonna let them take me, no, I ain't gonna let them take the Midnight Rider.
All right, we're talking about Giant Machine here.
So I'm getting there, God damn it. So the Midnight Rider had a lisp and talk a little bit like this. And he would sit around the fireplace and all, and he would sip a few beers and talk about the legend of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and it rode through here one time. And the Dream and the Rider became very good friends, if you will. Almost like I became a little bit of the dream. So I feel it's my place to come back now and avenge the dream. Some people thought that the writer actually was the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, because he embodied the same spirit, if you will. He looked a lot, had an extra lot of puppy skin and a gigantic birthmark in the same place, but I believe that was just self-inflicted to feel the spin. Andre the Giant later on, when he was banned and he was gone, never to appear again, as many things from the land of the rising sun do. They create. And all of a sudden, with a stamp made in Japan, Giant Machine appeared. 7'4", 459 pounds. And a lot of people thought that was Andre the Giant. When in fact, it was manufactured, made in Japan, if you will, of giant materials. Therefore, people felt the Giant Machine and Andre the Giant, just because one got the same last name, the other got the same first name. Giant Machine, Andre the Giant. They put the two together, thinking they were the same, just because it had embodied the spirit of Andre the Giant.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.